Yes. Here we go once again. The Mix Lab every Tuesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. I'm Jason Rios alongside my partner Lefty Hernandez.
¿Qué pasa, New York? What's happening? Welcome. We are here. We are live in the place to be. Welcome, everybody. It is the Mix Lab, Whcr 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Hola, Jason. ¿Qué pasa? What's happening?
Everything is good. Beautiful day out, man. Beautiful day out. We got an awesome show lined up for today.
Yes, we do. We've got guests. We've got people in the studio. Kentucky. Who's here?
We got a special guest in the building today.
Yo no sé. Yo no sé quién está aquí. Pero no soy yo.
Listen, it's a good thing we're in Harlem, right? So that people that are listening, they understand what you're saying.
They understand porque, you know, yo soy Spanish.
Ya tú sabes.
I'm from the 5th floor.
I'm from the 5th floor.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Rivera, why you always got a cat in here?
Yeah. You always got to be on top of the bread.
Yeah, that's my Nancy's favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely chatting. We didn't even introduce him yet. He's taking over, so we're just gonna, give him the mic and go ahead and everybody in New York say hello to.
I just want to say, listen, before we introduce him,
we don't even know.
Before we introduce him, I know you guys already know who he is, but you know what, man? In the house music industry and this scene, man, he's one of the first guys. When I started, when I was beginning to come out, he was one of the guys that gave me a platform, and I was able to showcase, my skills, my talents on his platform, and it took me a long way, man. I want to really, tell you thank you. I appreciate it. But ladies and gentlemen,
hey Jay,
I want to introduce you to the one, the only, Duce Martinez.
Duce Martinez, yeah. Listen, it's a 2-hour show, and we were taking an hour 45 just to introduce him.
Oh my God, I'm about to take my shirt off.
All right, dude. That's it.
What up? What's going on, Lefty? What's going on, Jason?
What's up, dude? What's going on, my brother?
First of all, let me just say thank you for having me here. You know what I mean? It's been a long time. You've been asking me. It's just this time was difficult.
Well, you know what?
Everything
right,
that I'm doing.
Right? Yeah, you're doing a lot. Good. Well, that's a good thing. People, stay busy, and we're always making, I guess the best thing is making sure and hoping that everyone is okay, right?
Absolutely.
La salud and everybody's okay. But definitely good to have you here, bro. Definitely a pleasure.
Thank
I
you.
have not seen you in quite some time, so I'm really excited, bro, that you're here.
I'm still chiquito.
No. No. Listen, bro. You know what they say, right? But anyway,
leave that alone.
Leave that alone. So,
this is rated PG.
So. Listen. You know what? It's about the music and what you do in the community and the industry and the music and what you're bringing to the platform. So Chiquito is definitely, you're far from that, bro. So kudos to you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome, man. We're gonna, be here for a little while, and you're gonna play some tunes later for us, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
But in the meantime, let's talk to Duce, man.
Let's let everybody know who you are.
Let everybody
before
know.
I play, I hope you got like some crates so I can stand on.
Oh yeah, but he don't let go now.
I'm just saying.
We got to stop ladder. We got to stop ladder.
We good, man. Yeah. So what's up, man? What's going on, fellas? Hello, everyone out there who's listening in to WHCR 90.3 FM, the Mix Lab.
Listen to him
with Jason and Lefty. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I got to give a shout out real quick. You know what I mean? So
way to go.
It's good to be here, and once again, thank you guys.
Awesome, man. So I do want to tell. I want to tell the people that we are going to ask you guys to come on and join us too. So our number is 212-650-6903. So obviously this guy's not shy, man. He ain't shy. So you got something to say, call up and talk to Duce direct. And, any questions, any comments, any feedback. So we are here. So we're going to hang out with Duce. So, Duce, we're going to take it to the top, man. We're going to let everybody know, for those that know Duce and for those that don't, my general question is always, who's Duce? Who is Duce? Where are you from? What's, I know you as Duce Martinez, but,
okay.
Tell us a little about yourself to let people know who you are, where you're from, how did it all start for you.
Okay.
So talk to us.
I'm an original New York City, born and bred up in here, Harlem, Spanish Harlem.
Mira pa allá.
Yo soy del barrio.
So you home?
Yes, 108 and 3rd and Lex is where I was born and raised.
Nice.
Moved out to Queens, Flushing, and then I moved out to Jersey.
Look at that.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm from.
And he's not wanted in any one of those boroughs.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, man. So that's where I came from, where it all started.
Okay.
with the music, my dad, my father, his name is Alejandro. And he is a musician and a singer as well.
Is he performing with bands or?
Yeah, in the local bands in the city. We talking about the 70s, 80s.
That happened a lot.
Like that, what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's where I get the love for music.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Good stuff. And what did he play? Anything in particular?
Yeah, he plays percussions and bongos.
Any bands that we know?
No, not really. Just local bands, just the street bands.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, man, because New York is that kind of town, right?
Yeah,
the roots, right. It's all rooted. People be like, "Oh, I remember that, and I remember him."
Right.
Like my cousins were. I'm from the Lower East Side, and so my cousins were up on 112th and 3rd as well. Okay. So they were just 4 blocks up from you. So maybe we're somos primo.
Probably I don't know. But New York during that time was so different. You know what I mean? You had the Fiesta Patronales on 3rd Avenue.
But it's still happening.
At 3rd Avenue, though.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
And what's that?
That's true, though. 3rd Avenue was the animal.
Yeah, it was the animal back then.
But now they have that feast that's under the bridge.
On 116,
right.
I think it is.
Right.
Yeah. They do that every year. And then they do the old timers on 100 and something, 11th Street, I think it is.
Yeah. I thought Jason was talking about trolls, like under the bridge.
No, they do it right under that train station thing, right?
Yeah, man.
Oh, cool. So that's where it all started from you. So then your father being the music. So music, I guess for our culture, right? Music was part of our upbringing in the house. But your father was a musician. Do you play instruments too?
I play percussions.
Okay.
I play a little bit of keys. You know what I mean? I used to play bass.
Okay.
My uncle was a guitar player. He used to play rock.
Oh, wow.
And he taught me how to play the bass. So nice. From the bass to keys to percussions is what I'm not the best at it, but I can dabble a little bit.
You want to know something? It's a skill. It's a talent. And the fact that you're a DJ today is proof that it's in your nature, and so yeah, absolutely, Ron. Don't take that away from don't take that away from yourself, bro. Definitely. So then from there, tell us
what got you into
the
music?
DJ, yeah.
What got into the DJ aspect or the music in general?
I mean, you felt the music through your dad. I guess growing up.
Are we hearing some music?
Yeah. I got a lower.
Okay, I thought. Okay, cool.
Growing up, I guess all the festivals, all the street parties you involved.
Yeah.
But what got you really to get into the music?
Listen. I'm from New York City. I'm from Manhattan. Moved to Queens, and I used to go to Skate Town, USA, the roller skating rink.
I used to DJ there.
Come on, man.
And Roosevelt
yes,
Avenue.
Yeah. I used to go there all the time.
Holy cow!
So I used to roller skate first with one of my cousins. His name is Ruben. Dope skater. I became a skater first.
Was he a skate guard, Ruben? Did he work there?
No,
okay.
not at all.
All right, I'm stretching.
Yeah,
I'm reaching.
No, but it's all good. He's actually right now. He trains a lot of boxers out in Florida. So anyway, so. From the roller skating rink, I was a dancer, right. And then I met with Dynamic Rockers, the B-boys. I became part of the Dynamic Rockers.
Right.
I was always into the music, always trying to remember back in the days when you had that radio with the 2 speakers, the 8-track, the cassette, the turntable, and you used to put it in. I used to put it in between phono and FM and try to mix records. And, so that got me really into the music, the DJ part of it until I moved to Jersey. When I moved to Jersey, it was a whole bunch of older cats that I saw DJing. And I said, wow, man, this is pretty dope, man. I would like to learn. And that's exactly what I did. And my 2 first records that I could remember was Spoonie G, Love Rap.
Oh, snap.
Wow. Cutting that up, man. That was my first 2 records. Then from that point on, I just got really into it and listening to, 90, hot tracks and KTU.
Well,
back
it was
in the days.
92. It was 92, Disco 92, yeah.
Yeah, with the Animal and Paco and the whole crew,
Yep.
That got me more into it. And as, time went, it started just throwing down, bro.
So you were attracted, because a lot of DJs, everyone can tell you they love music, right? But not everybody's attracted to being a DJ. Right. So what was the attraction? And is it for me, like you said, the radio, or the actual vinyl or the turntable? Like that was a big attraction.
You know, it's just the fact of blending music got me really into it. It was mind blowing to me. I'm like, damn, how do they put that together?
Okay.
How do you make it happen?
There you go.
You know, how do you count this? How do DJs know when to throw this record in and at what time to throw it so it can blend with the other ones?
Continuity.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you got to know how to count bars.
There you go. There you go.
It's all about counting bars.
Rhythm, you hear that?
You know what I mean? You know, I mean, listen,
he's being a teacher.
Listen, today it's totally different. You don't need to count bars. You just loop a record.
Yeah.
And just add another record.
Yeah,
to it,
right.
You know what I mean? But, you know, we talking about back in the days where you really, really, really needed to know how to blend records and how to put records. So, you know, just listening to the craft, I was like, wow, look, I got goosebumps. I was like, wow,
there you go.
This is something that I can see myself doing throughout the years.
Did you start with turntables or with CDJs?
We talking about the 80s,
45?
Man.
You're talking about 45? 78?
How about 8 tracks?
8 tracks.
Right. He did say
about 8 tracks. You know, sounding warpy. No, but I started with SLB ones.
But wait a minute.
All right.
Wait, the 8 track you can only move forward, man. You couldn't go back.
Click. That's all you heard was click. And it started really slow. But I started with the SLB ones.
Wow.
And then I graduated to the 1800s.
Okay.
I got a pair at home.
No way. There was a pitch in the front.
No, not the wheel.
I have the one.
No, the two little.
Oh, you got the two little knobs.
The two little. They call them the nipples. No pun intended.
Now we know where your mind is at.
Give me PG, bro.
Now we know where your mind is at.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's a little. Listen, I don't. You know,
Nancy.
Leave my Nancy alone. She gonna. Oh yeah. What's the matter with you? But yes, bro, 1800s. But go ahead.
So 1800s, and then from that point on, it was just again, man. I started doing a lot of parties.
Yeah. Any mixer in particular back then?
I had the GLI. No, the Newmark? The Newmark mixer.
Oh, okay.
The original.
One of the Newmark mixers, and then I went into the GLIs, and then I had the sampling Newmark, and
you never had a Gemini, man. Everybody had a Gemini.
I didn't have a Gemini.
No, Lefty had a Panasonic.
No, you know what I actually saw, and I just saw it yesterday. I kid you not, and they brought me back. I had the Clubman 1-on-1M.
Oh, dang!
Remember the Clubman? The wood frame. I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. Somebody just posted something like that on Facebook.
I just saw it. I think we. Yeah.
Was it?
I don't know. I saw it too.
Kerry Chandler.
Yeah, you know what?
Kerry Chandler just posted,
and
that.
he had it. He bought them, right?
Yes.
And he had them refinished, you know. And they did one was regular wood, one was oak wood, one was oak because he had the original, and because there's the 1-on-1, then the 1-on-1M, which is the one with the meter. That's the one I had.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, you just said that. I'm like, damn, just took me back.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. So I never had a Gemini mixer, man. I was it was either Newmark or GLI.
I still got mixers in my basement.
Yeah. No, wait a minute.
Forget it.
A realistic.
Oh, realistic.
Stop it.
Go.
From what was the store? Name the store.
I'm gonna Radio Shack.
Well, even before that, but you know what it was? Remember
Crazy Eddie's,
Lafayette Hi-Fi.
Well, see, I didn't go to Lafayette.
But Lafayette Hi-Fi was kind of like a branch of like Radio Shack, I think. You know,
Lafayette. Yeah, it was a real. I'm thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, it was a realistic.
Realistic, yeah. Or the Philips, which was, and those were actually mic mixes. They didn't have the headset. You had to get the separate headset box to patch it in.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It was. Listen, you know what? I can say that. It made us who we are today as DJs because we didn't have the tools right now like everyone has. You know, you got CDJs and you got sync buttons and you got this and you got that, and it's easy for people to actually play music today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me clear that because a lot of people may say, "Oh, why are you talking about sync button?" You know what? I sync from time to time. I don't care. You know what I mean? If I have to, but. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing with the CDJs and with the controllers. You know what I mean? It's the time today. It's what it is today. No, we can't talk back. Yeah. Well, you want to be a real DJ? Let me see you play on turntable.
But a lot of people get teased though. Yeah. I remember when I was part of D1 Music Radio. And we used to call everybody else in sync, you know, like
yeah.
And they used to get upset, but you know what? It motivated a lot of people to get off the sync and get into the CDJs and learn it. A lot of them became really good.
True. But we're also talking about the pioneer days. So it's not like it's not that like what we have today stems from everything you're talking about.
Back in the days, absolutely, man. So it's
mm-hmm.
it's what made us, like I said, it's what made us today. You, yourself, and myself. You know what I mean? So. Yeah,
awesome,
man. So,
bro.
I can't
Very
complain.
Cool, man.
But Duce, you have a very, very, very extensive background. You've worked with the greatest DJs, producers, and artists all over the world. Yeah. And you've come a long way, man. You've come a long way. For a short guy, you've come a long way, man.
Thanks.
And one thing that I got to admire, man, is that you give back to the community, man. You're one of the very few guys that not only do you have your own radio station, D1 Music Radio, that you put on DJs and they have their own slot times and you help push them, because you also did that with me. Right. But you do events throughout New Jersey, throughout all over the place.
That's really,
free events that a lot of people don't do that, man,
So,
right.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because, in everything we're talking about, where you come from, so now it brings us to date and what you're doing. And I know that you're very active. And the fact that you moved out to Jersey, because you've been in Jersey how long, if you don't mind?
Quite some time, over 30 years.
And I know that, which is great because, you are very active and you bring a lot to the community over there, man.
Right.
So with that said, what have you got going on? And I know clubs, anything, just tell everybody where we're at these days. Wow. What's happening?
It's a lot,
Good,
just like Jason said.
A lot is what we need.
We're talking about my background, right? Let's go before we go to that point. I'm an original b-boy as well. Dynamic rockers. From Queens, from Jamaica, Queens, and we did a lot of movies, a lot of videos. We did B Street, The Last Dragon, Fast Forward. We're actually broke up Dynamic Rockers and made Dynamic Breakers, which I'm also part of, and we took it to a further higher heights. We ended up being in the hip hop Wall of Fame.
Right.
Is it? No, they're doing the hip hop museum. Sorry, the hip hop museum.
Right.
From that point on, man, I like I said, got into the music from the breakdancing, and then now we're gonna come back to what's happening now. All right. So as far as the stuff that I'm doing in Jersey, like Jason said, man, I have my own radio station called D1 Music Radio, which he was part of, and there's so many other DJs that was part of the station.
A lot of great DJs
that now exactly
gone
that now are doing their own. They have their own station. So many of them. You know what I mean? They know who they are, and I like to give back. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, guys like yourself, guys like everybody who was part of D-Wild also gave me the push. You know what I mean? The support. So in order for me to give support, to get support, you got to give support, right?
That's right.
So, everyone who was part of the station, I'm thankful for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I know I did something right by putting them on the platform. These guys are all amazing. Look, Jason, for instance, taught two women how to play music, Frances Baez and La Diva. You know what I mean? He took the time to teach them, and and his rewards are back.
Yeah,
look where he's at today.
But he's that kind of guy. There are people that they either got it like that. He's a natural. You're a natural. It's just people that give back.
Right.
And they do it. Unconditionally. Not no expectations. No just here you go.
It's natural. It's just natural. You know what I mean? So, by doing these type of things, we get rewarded, right?
Yeah.
And not by the people around us, but the man up above, because he see what we doing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And this is why I'm still relevant and still doing what I'm doing, because I'm helping everybody else out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of my biggest events was the library, which Jason played, and he was part of the whole, the whole vibe.
Here in the city or out there?
The one in Jersey.
Jersey City or Newark?
Newark. Out in Newark at the
Newark Public Library.
Newark Public Library, which is one of the first weekly events that ever happened in Newark that was very big.
And they were always on fire.
You know what I mean? For 4 years or 3 years before the pandemic, it was, we had like 2,000 people.
On Fridays, right?
On Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a place to be back then, and then pandemic hit. But
you know what's funny about the library? We used to start at 6 o'clock, end at 10, right?
11. It was 11.
And I started work at 11, and I would have to wrap up the film equipment, get on my bike, and shoot to the city.
Yo, he's just coming his Harley. Like, yo, I'm here. So I go park it over there. You good to go. But thank you, man. Jason, thank you for everything that you've done and all the help you have.
You've done
put
a lot,
in, man. So I thank you for that too, man. So, but listen, man. It's just so much going on. With all the records I put out. A lot of people don't know that I'm the one who actually produced "I Shall Not Be Moved" by Kenny Bobian.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's one of my biggest gospel records. You know what I mean, that I have put out.
Well, you work with a lot of legends. Yeah. You work with Barbara Tucker. You work with even
La India.
Yeah. You've been around.
God, so many artists to mention, but I've worked with so many. Even in my hip hop days, I've done stuff with Lauryn Hill. I did stuff with Redman.
So with that said, so now we went from how you got into this to where you are now. So then clearly in between, you ended up in some places that allow you the blessings and the opportunity to be to work with those people and to be in the scene. So
right.
Tell us a few.
So again, from back in the days being a b-boy, I was always into the music, producing records, trying to produce records. So I started working in studios in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Shakedown was one of them with Shakedown, with oh my God,
who the presser, the master.
Oh my God! But anyway,
I know.
I can't remember his name right now. I got a brain fart. But anyway,
Powers?
Nah, Benji Candelario was there.
Yeah.
Victor Simonelli, Goongi,
Arthur Baker.
Yeah. There you go. Shakedown with Arthur Baker. I used to work for him, and then I used to also work at Centerfield, and that's where the Michael Moogs, the Roland Clarks, the Calvin Gaines. So I got so into the production part of it, and that's where I ended up doing a lot of music.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's really cool.
So working in these studios, I was able to actually understand the whole craft,
right,
and the whole just the whole animal of. Okay, so this is what this button does, and this is what that button does. And I mean, come on, Jason,
No, it's funny because you know how many events that I've gone. I mean, there's sometimes that he will have events, and I would just show up, and this guy would just get behind. I'm looking at this guy like, well, how the hell does he does this, And little by little, I was like, I'm gonna learn that. I'm gonna learn that. But I'm still glad to see one person in particular that's still by your side everywhere you go. I see him, and he's still rocking your music, and he's making his own music, and that's Martin G, man.
Yeah, listen, man, Martin G.
I gotta
right
give it
now, man. But before we go through all that, I definitely want to give a whole bunch of shout outs to a couple people. It's just a lot. Again,
I'm reading some of the comments. Go ahead. We'll tell you.
We're talking about the production part of it. So working in the studios and going to all the clubs and. Bringing vinyl to all the DJs back then, it was the way to go. You know
Promotion,
what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's if you didn't love this, if you didn't understand this, if you didn't want to understand this part of it, the production part of it, you would have gotten lost.
Yeah.
But it's something that, again, I come from a music background, and it's something that I used to always watch. My father's band just connect these wires and the volume up. Oh, you blew a speaker. Shut up. Because that's what I do, right? But
it's what it is. You get caught up in the momentum, right? You're excited, and you're like, and you're like, you're jumping ahead of yourself,
and you forget, man. But it's something that
I got you, bro. Don't worry, we'll clean it up, man. Don't worry about it.
It's something that I love, man. I really love, and. I'm glad that I learned from the bests, from the best of the best.
Yeah.
One of my biggest friends or closest friends is Tom Moulton. Me and Tom, we speak on a regular.
Yeah, I saw you at the cookie jar.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We hang out all the time. We talk. I go visit him from time to time. He also taught me a lot. You know what I mean? I'm just watching him mix records and how he does it, and I don't say nothing. I just keep quiet. I just watch what he's doing. I'm like, okay, I see.
Does he do it on hardware, or does he do it, with today's today's technology?
He uses Pro Tools.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, he uses Pro Tools.
Amazing.
So he's just sitting there, and he just does his thing. He's a master of what he does.
He is. He is.
Yeah,
he is. For those that don't know, Tom Moulton, to any Philly International record that you play and know and heard and listen. Yeah, he pretty much was, had his hands in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, yeah. So.
Yeah. Yes,
I
you
love
talking
that.
about Dr. Love. You
Yeah.
talking about, My Love Is Free. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, the guy got thousands of records that he put his hands on.
He's a pioneer.
Any Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Yes.
That's all him.
He's still
I
doing
love
it, man. He's still doing it.
Love Is the Message is on the Philly label, and he, so he was a big part of the Philly.
Huge part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So big shout out to Tom Morton, man.
Yeah.
But
Favorite.
yeah, man. So, from that point on, man, this is where I am now. I'm here at doing these big events. I'm doing concerts. I did a concert at NJ Pack, with 13 artists.
I heard that. Yeah. Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was
That's
huge.
awesome.
We talking about, I had salsa, I had freestyle, I had house, I had reggae, I had hip hop,
And that's
all in one roof, which is very successful.
Yeah.
Hard to do. I was nervous because there was a lot of money that was put out.
And that place is a real McCoy. That's Jersey's version of Madison Square Garden.
Yes, it was. It
Yeah.
was nerve wracking, but I did it. I can't complain. It was great. They want me to do another one, but
Good.
I don't want to do a freestyle one. I want to do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but that's a good thing about it too. That you're versatile. You're not only on one genre. I see you gone through hip hop, through house music, through freestyle music.
Yeah.
You're all over the place.
And I produced a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I produced hip hop. I did a salsa reggaeton album with
Good
Three
for
to
you.
Get Funky.
Wow.
Mikey Perfecto and the guy who wrote La Nena Tiene Tumbao.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's Mikey Perfecto and Bimbo.
Do you have a page or
just, you go to my Facebook.
so it's the
page,
Facebook, but as far as all the releases and things like that, promotional.
YouTube it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
and Jason, no man. I'm like, I'm gonna do it one day. It's just too much, man.
It is a lot of work.
People
That's the thing
understand.
though, especially for us who we you're very creative. There are a lot of there's a lot of diversity and a lot of like you just mentioned. If we just retracted and counted 10 things that you're involved with, it's a lot of stuff. And all that to say that the probably one of the most difficult and hardest things to do for any of us that continue to do this is time management. Managing the time
And that's hard to do, especially when you got your hands on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You got your daytime jobs and you got your studio.
And don't you
got
love
your
it
wife
when people they come at you and they're like, yo, when you gonna do that? When you gonna do that again? They think it's that easy. It's like, oh God.
And you're right. You hit it right on the head. They think it's easy until it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jason's done events.
I know.
And, he knows how hard it is to get put people on, promote, trying to get people there.
Right.
Some people like you, some people don't like you.
Yeah,
some people hate. You know.
You know what I learned?
It's just hard.
And just to add, I agree, but just remember this, and I've been practicing this, is that if people like you, great. If people don't like you, great. You know what? It's none of my business. That's not my business.
Exactly.
You do you. You do what you got to do, bro.
That's my motto.
You do what you got to do. For me, we're the Pied Pipers. Just play the music, and the rest they'll follow.
Exactly.
So
my grandmother used to always say, just Dios, you'll take care of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I live. You know what? It is what it is. Just keep moving, keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna get haters, and if you have haters, you're doing a good job.
I was gonna say
right.
that.
You know what I mean? You got haters, you got a good job.
If they're talking about you,
job.
or if they don't like you, it's because of the fact that they actually are jealous or envious, or you got something they want.
What did I read one time? It
So,
said if you
it's
got
all
1,000 haters, you got to work harder. You need that 1,001, 1,002.
Absolutely.
But
Listen,
what's
man.
funny? I was just talking to somebody about you recently, and it was on Cloud9.
Oh,
So, me and
that's my
Cloud9,
boy,
I know
man.
him. We did an event together. We've been working together in the club out in Brooklyn. And I told him, Cloud, do you really remember? This is the last event that I did in Loft 30. I'm like, Cloud, do you really remember? He goes, yeah. I'm like, do you really, really remember? He's looking at me like, huh? I'm like, do you remember when you were with Duce Martinez and we did a video called Sexy Mother Bleepers?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I remember that. I'm like, you don't remember me there? He was like, wait a minute. And then he caught on. We did that on spite of the moment.
Yeah,
we
man.
were supposed to do it in Bar 13. We wound up going down to Libation
Right.
where Gladys was out.
Oh, wow.
It was
No,
amazing, man.
We actually did it at
And you went
Bar
to Philly.
13.
Yeah.
libation, and we went to Philly and came back.
Right.
And big shout out to oh my God,
Gladys Pizarro.
Big
shout out for her.
We're trying to get her
just
here.
big shout out to a lot of people who was involved, man. Right now with the mic in front of me, I'm having brain
Relax,
farts.
bro.
You know what I mean?
It's all good,
Yeah,
man. It's all good.
know.
You know what? But we're the guys. It's funny being DJs, right?
Yeah.
The fact is, though, with all the nervousness that we experience, our best work is when we're under pressure.
Yeah.
Our best work is when we're under pressure.
I agree, man.
So,
I'm one of those guys that I get nervous, right?
Yeah.
When I have a mic in front of me and I'm getting interviewed. Everybody knows that. My wife knows that, right? So I do get nervous for some freaking reason. I get reasons.
I'm listening.
This is
I'm reading
coming
some
from
of these
somebody,
comments, bro.
This is coming from somebody who threw on a Puerto Rican cape in the in the Halloween parade, or the Puerto Rican parade out in Jersey with the mic, talking to thousands of people.
Yeah, but that's different
natural,
because I'm entertaining.
And you got more. It's funny. The more people that were listening, the hyper you got.
Yeah, so I'm entertaining, but if I'm tranquilo, like right now, yo estoy tranquilo, so I'm like, okay, I'm getting brain farts. Like who helped out with the video, which was Swift. Big shout out to Swift, man. DJ N Project for doing all the videos, the Jumping Mother Effers, the Free Man video. He's done a lot of videos for me. So big shout out to Swift, man,
Awesome.
And he did it for free.
That's, you just hit the hammer on the nail.
He did it for free, man. And, I owe him a lot. He's like, you don't owe me nothing. You know what? I do, because these type of people that do stuff for you, you have to always embrace them, man.
Yeah.
Like, again, even Jason, man. Jason for all those for the whole year videotaping everything at the library. You got to embrace that, man. And again, I'm gonna continue to say thank you, because you didn't have to do that. And you know me, I wasn't thinking about videos. I didn't care. I was like, I just want to have a good time. I want to throw everybody together. Everybody had
right.
But
before he
captured
we build memories,
right? Which was one of the best time in the city of Newark when it came down to events. Honestly, there's a lot of events in Newark, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of festivals.
Well, it's a major city. Right. You're a major city,
right.
So
or just in Jersey in general.
Culture wise,
right?
Yeah. So you bring to the community, and I'm saying this because I know that we're coming into the season, so I'm sure there's stuff already on the schedule,
yes,
right?
I do have a lot of stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the difference between the library and all the other venues, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for it, and I don't even care, because at the end of the day, I brought diversity.
Right. That's true.
My events at the library was
no discrimination.
No discriminations. Everybody, you saw whites, blacks, Indians, young kids. We're from the college.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's the blessing of music.
So it was different at the time. So by him capturing those events, and everyone else who videotaped too, man, I gotta thank them too. Martin G was one of them. Yeah. Felix Dupree. Yeah. Millie Mills, like everyone who was a part of that whole, and it was a movement. That's what it was. It was a movement.
It was.
I got to thank, man. You know what I mean? Because it put me where I am today as well.
There you go. And being here gives you the opportunity to say thank you, right?
And I got to thank Louis Vega as well, and Louis Lou Gorbea.
Yeah.
Because without them, without Louis Lou Gorbea, Louis Vega wouldn't picked up. He picked up my record just as long, and that took me to a different level. From that point on, you know what I mean? So from that point, again, I got to embrace everybody. I'm just trying to thank everybody, because I don't get to thank people. You know what I mean?
By the way, I used that track on your flyer.
I saw that, the Free Man, which also on Vega Records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So from that point, it just took me to this point in my life. You know what I mean? From putting those records out, it put me where I am today with doing all these venues and all these events. You know what I mean? Because I believe in giving, to the community and giving those who need it. Again, you got people who are suffering through, they got, suffering from depression,
mental illness,
challenges,
So
physical ailments, or
the music that we all play at the events helps them and guides them.
A little bit of joy.
Yeah,
that's
man.
all.
I used to have people cry while I'm playing music. You know, I get goosebumps again.
Yeah,
you know, because I'm, you know, she said, I needed this, man. So thank you. Because you know, I
Yeah,
had people
those
who
are the
wanted to
best.
commit suicide.
Yeah, no.
And they would thank me, you know, because, hey, you know, thank you for the uplifting music you played, because I was this close.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that ass, and excuse me, I didn't want to say that. But,
That's okay.
You know, seriously, you know, I had a lot of people, you know, just say that. I'm like, wow, man, you know, I didn't know I had that effect. All the music that I play, all the people around me, excuse me, all the people around me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm blessed, man.
A
I'm
lot of
very
people,
blessed,
a lot of people contributed because you know the kind of person you are. I can remember one time in particular, man, that we had an event out in the library, and I'm not going to mention their name because I don't know how they feel about it. But this person was rushing to get to the library to bring a flyer, I mean, a banner, and they had an accident. Bro, they knocked down the light post. Their car got totaled. I get that. And they were like, here, give this to Duce. That was the first thing he came out and said.
Who was that? I'm trying to remember.
Should I say?
I mean, you know, I gotta thank him, and I'm glad he was okay.
It was Taz.
Yeah, Taz. Big shout out to Taz. And you know, and Taz, you know, let's talk about, you know,
He's dope
Taz.
DJ too.
Yeah, Taz is a really dope DJ. I think he's one of my favorites in Jersey when it comes out to an open format DJ. This guy is just amazing at his blends, at his just selection of music. I got to give him his props, man. You know what I mean? I really do, because this guy's just amazing. You know what I mean? So thanks to him, and I'm glad he was safe. Like you said, Jason went to the rescue. Jason was like, I got it.
There's a lot of talent.
And then he took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
He took him to the hospital as well, I think, right?
Wow.
Yeah. No, I waited for the ambulance because I had to go back to do to put up the banner and to do the video and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
But we waited there. But the guy, no, he went through some stuff, man. He broke his car, it fell apart. He knocked down a light post.
Yeah, man.
Bro, it banged into a Mercedes. And then when I got there, he was like, make sure that two sketches. I was like, dude, are you all right?
But thank Taz, man. Again, man, I had a lot of good people. Like, you know, and again, you got Martin G right now, right? That's on the up. He's on the come up. You know, he's doing
a lot of his stuff.
Great new edits of classic records, and these, you know, you got people who do remixes, right? And so-called remixes, where they take a Love Is a Message and they take, I don't know, let's just take a David Morales drum track or something, and they just put it together. They call it their own remix.
Their own
I don't think that's a remix.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's not. It's a mashup to me.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can take a beat and it's an old record and put it together and say this is a mashup. It's like me mixing two records live. That's a mashup.
No, what I see Martin G doing, he's rolling up the sleeves and he's getting in there. Dude, he's creating it, man.
He has the multi-tracks. Yeah. He has the multi-tracks, and he makes it, excuse me, and he makes his own versions of these records where he takes the front and put it in the back in the front, the middle here, the middle there.
That's a remix.
Yeah, that's a remix.
That's a remix.
Or a special edit. Right. When you want to call a remix, so people who don't know what a real remix is when you take an acapella and you create a whole new remix on it, a whole new different version musically,
right? Everything
musically, drums,
the
whole body. You want different keys. You know what I mean? That is a remix. You know, again, I'm talking from back in the days, and to me, it's still relevant because even when I speak to Tom Moulton, he says, "I don't know what they're talking about. No, this is a real man." But
you've got revisions,
right.
you've got
you got special edits,
right?
You know that people can just take, you know, a 2-track and blend, you know, cut here, put here. But Martin G is on some other level, you know. He's amazing, man. Honestly, awesome. Man. A big shout out to Martin G. And then you got Millie Mills. You know what I mean? You know, I know this show is about me, but I want to give shout outs to those.
Gotta
you know what I mean? Because
it's amazing.
You got Millie Mills that was a straight up open format DJ, and you know, and look at her now. You know what I mean? She's big. She became a good household name. She's doing her thing. She's playing everywhere, and you know, and all through the whole DWOW movement.
And she's giving back to the community.
And she gives back. You know what I mean? And you know, she's a very, very intelligent woman.
Awesome.
And a very humble person as well, man. So big shout out.
That's the other thing too with this business is the fact that, you know, to maintain humility, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know, to definitely do your thing, and you know, you remain humble. You know, that's one of the greatest blessings.
And you get your rewards.
Absolutely,
at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So But yeah, man, I'm like I said, man, these guys are amazing. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing a remix right now. Just finished doing a remix for David Morales. I was with him at the
This
Musica.
Saturday, yeah, Musica
I was
with
with
Louis,
him
yeah.
and Louis.
And Louis. It looked like a really. I missed it. Yeah,
It was
looked like a really
amazing. It was an amazing
party.
because seeing those two play together, and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been out in a while because I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
But I finally was able to go and seeing a lot of the people that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, grew up with in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen in a long time. David DePino. And,
Yeah, I saw he was
what
there.
I mean? Mike
That's awesome.
Weiss and
Yeah,
Cuba was there, and Benji Candelario was
Benji was there. Yeah.
So these guys I grew up with.
Yeah.
These are the guys that we started together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At Shakedown Studios.
Right.
But seeing them play and it's an amazing feeling because I know what it feels like to play with Louis. I played with Louis a couple times, and our vibe together is just on some other level. Just on some other ish.
Yeah.
Because we feed off of each other and the energy. And I remember him and I playing at a club called Cromi out in Italy. We had about 5,000 to 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
Dome opens up and he's playing and I'm playing with the isolator and we rocking out and it was just magical. Same thing and when we played at the Water Taxi Beach or at the in Miami when he did at the Yucca Lounge. You know what I mean? There's a photo of me and him and Fabio Janito on my Facebook page. That was at the Yucca. That's when he put my record out, Just As Long. That vibe right there was incredible. So seeing David and Louis was just top notch.
He was heaven, right?
Yeah, it was like, wow, man.
And
I enjoyed it because I was actually just relaxing for a change. I didn't want to talk to too many people. I just want to just enjoy music for a while. Because I don't get to do that much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm always working. I'm always doing something. So
we're getting selective now where we go too. It's like we can't make every event all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
it's hard.
But when
It's
you
hard.
do go out, it's good to fellowship with people that you got real
Right.
brothership with, brotherhood with.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw at this particular event too, especially because of the way the music and the clubs are trending these days. But it looked like it was just definitely good old fashioned club where people were dancing, because the club today is like it's almost a stage, right?
Yeah.
People are standing.
Like
with cell phones.
I get it, technology, but if you and I, it's picture us right here, me right now, and we're here with each other live, but I'm holding a camera up to you, while we're here. It's like, wait, I'm like you're capturing it for what? So you could see it later? It's like we're here live, like put the phone down.
Embrace the moment. Embrace
the moment. Yeah, exactly.
Just, you want to make sure it's about where you're at and and promoting the DJ, letting the world know that the man, I'm here. I'm finally here, and some of these people went there for the first time. Never seen them play.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm actually in front of these two, pioneers, and so
it's exciting.
I mean, listen, it's just the way it is today. Everybody's on their phones. There's
Social
no more
media,
dancing. Everybody's just on. Let me just stand and watch. And I'm not used to that. I'm a dancer, man.
Right. I've seen a lot of signs of clubs, especially overseas. Talking about where they actually have signs around that says no phones on the floor.
The most annoying thing is when you're on the dance floor and everybody, it's like everybody's on the dance floor with the phones and you can't even dance.
Right. And wait, and they're not pointing it at you; they're pointing it at themselves.
Yeah. Like this. with the duck lips.
I don't get it. Yeah, right.
But listen, man,
they don't have enough pictures of themselves.
I mean, listen, again, we talking about they probably go through something and they happy they're at this time. You know what I mean? They embracing that moment, so of course they're gonna be like, So it can't get it is what it is, man. It's just different today.
Yeah, the world's different.
It's just different.
Because this show, as we're having fun, goes fast, right? Time goes fast.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So tell us an event that's upcoming now that is really like you want everybody to know, like, hey, this is something that you need to be at, or what's next. So what's the next? What's a big project that you got coming up, or something that Yeah,
well, right.
especially the
Well,
outdoors.
as far as events, I have the library June, July, and August. The second.
Oh, you got it
Okay,
back and
there
shit
you
now?
go. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
so
yeah,
so
yeah.
okay, so start right there. So the library
The library June
in Newark,
Newark,
New
New Jersey.
Jersey. So
The second Friday in July. I mean June,
June.
July, and August.
There you go.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's not weekly. It's bi-weekly.
Nah, it's
now?
bi-weekly
Okay.
now.
But you
I
just-
mean, once a month. It's once a month.
So it's the second.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
Yeah,
find
the
those
second
dates.
the second Friday of June, the second Friday of July, the second Friday of August.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm at a few festivals, which I don't have my stuff on me right now, but you can just go to my page. They're all up on my page.
What is your page? That way,
Just Duce Martinez, Duce
Type it in.
Martinez.
So June 10th, July 8th, and August. You got August too?
August 2, the second Friday.
August. Oh, I'm sorry. I said I'm looking at Tuesdays because we're here today. I'm sorry. Run that back. So the second Friday is
the second Friday in
June Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, I love that.
July Friday the 11th, and August Friday the 8th.
8. Yes.
All right. So we're gonna put that
So
up.
we have that
And
going on.
What's it actually called?
It's the library sessions.
Library sessions
It's
in
Duce Martinez and Friends.
Library sessions in
And Martin G, sorry. Duce
It
Martinez,
used
Martin
to
G.
be Under the Stars or something. Remember
That was NJ Pack on Thursdays. They do music under the stars or something like that. Or was that the museum? Listen, I just do so much stuff. I can't remember half of the stuff.
Are you still having your sessions in your house?
No,
Porque
no,
está casado.
no.
Now that you're married,
no,
everything
no,
changed, right?
No, it's not even that, man. Listen, man, I can say that was a great time in my life when I used to have my sessions at my crib, man. And Jason, you used to come to my crib. Dude, we had like 80 people in my apartment.
Yeah.
Everybody bringing food, liquor, and everybody. The music was super duper out loud. I had 18, 12, and I had a little apartment. And everybody outside in the parking lot drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
The vibe was great. The vibe was really, really great.
June 13th.
And again, from that point on, it took me to what I'm doing now because it all stepping stone.
Right.
You know what I mean? I am working on doing another concert at NJ Pack. I'm working with Bootsy Collins
All right.
right now. I'm getting ready to do something with Bootsy Collins. We're trying to get George Clinton involved, the Funkadelics,
Yeah.
and we're talking about a concert.
Nice.
This summer.
That's a nice funky. That's
Yeah,
nice
I'm trying to, I'm just, I'm want to hit. I
That's
wanna
a
hit
nice
the-
investment.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. It's pretty nice, man.
Yeah.
And just a lot of like I said, festivals. And I don't have everything in front of me. I should have brought
Sorry, you
I should have been prepared a little bit more, but I'm not.
Right.
But just go to my page and everything's there. You know what I mean? So
Awesome. Very cool. So we've got a lot. We're covering a lot. So we are here. We're at the Mix Lab. Yep.
the Mix Lab.
We're at the Mix Lab
Listen,
with your host, Jason.
I know you. Well, before we go on, I know you mentioned before about the girls that have been training and stuff like that. But you got to keep an ear out on my girl Rhythm.
Rhythm.
Yo, she's making noise, man.
Really?
Yeah,
I gotta check out then.
She started spinning. She got the Fiebre with the tractor. Now she's on the XDJ.
Okay.
Yeah, with
Okay.
no computer. She's doing her thing.
So
good. I'm
she's
gonna
really
do it.
really good.
not to feel left out. So yeah, my Nancy, she's so funny, and I think she needs probably like one of the girls type, but she's got an ear. Right, but we got to get her behind the turntables.
Yeah,
we got to get her.
man,
We definitely do. Right, Nancy? Right? She's like,
Yeah,
She's like, yeah. She's like, cállate ya.
Big shout out to Nancy.
So once again, we are here at the Mix Lab every Tuesday, the place to be from 6 to 8. Your host, Jason Rios. I'm Lefty Hernandez, and we are having an amazing, great conversation with Duce Martinez in the studio. And we will tell people to give us a call, and they're all over the chat. By the way, you've got a lot of fans, man. So, let me see something. There was some funny stuff here that I saw. Now,
I bet you Felix and Pre. I bet
I was just
Felix and Pre.
Yeah.
Felix,
I didn't want to say it.
I saw that. I saw.
Call me Oompa Loompa. Okay. I already know. That's my cousin. I love him to pieces, man. He's
Froggy.
I saw
Froggy.
that. Yeah, but then el otro, Elliot, Evie.
Oh.
Evie's like, yo, can you teach me how to DJ?
I got you, Evie.
Yeah,
Felix
Jay.
Dupree, man,
Hey,
big shout out to
Jimmy.
him. He's got this
that's
thing called
awesome.
Newark Exposed,
So I want
and
to.
you can post on that, man.
I'm sorry. I didn't. Yeah. That's awesome. What? Say that again.
Felix Dupree,
Yep.
he has a whole organization called Newark Exposed. You can go to his page and you can post everything that's going on in the city of Newark.
Beautiful.
He supports everybody.
See,
so
that's how it works, man.
That's my cousin, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
proud of him too, man. It's a long story, but
That's awesome.
I'm very proud of him and who he is today, because just love you, brother.
Very cool. Yeah. So shout out to Felix. Felix.
Froggy.
Yeah. Elliot's out there. And it's good to have you always, Elliot. So he's hanging in there and up and around, and getting better by the day. I do want to say hi. I got a friend here who's first time. Jimmy James Morrison. Hey, Jimmy, man. I call him Tugboat because he literally works on the tugboats of New York City. And this man, while you and I are sleeping, he's catching all the beautiful sunrise and sunsets.
Nice.
Around the harbor.
Nice.
And yeah, he's all. I love. Yeah. So Jimmy, awesome. So kudos to you and saying hi. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here with us. A lot of people. My Nancy's on. We've, of course, Rhythm is our administrator, our hostess, taking care of the chat room. We ask people 212-650-6903 to call in, but time is ticking, and we, besides having a great conversation with Duce, we want to ask Duce to jam some tracks, spin some wheels, brother. So why don't you?
Hold on, before we do that, we want to thank you for joining us, man. We really do appreciate it. For blessing the Mix Lab, and this is our token of appreciation, brother.
Yo,
this is nice.
Hiram Cruz is in there. He's in the room. Want to say hi to Hiram?
What's up, Hiram? What's up? Jamie Rivera. I see Rosie.
Yep.
Oh, Rosie Rhythm is the DJ. Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing you, Rosie.
Robert Andrews.
Big shout out to Robert Andrews, another dope
KC
DJ as
well.
KC,
Willie Will.
Awesome.
Willie Will. So,
and we do this to for everybody because we thank each and every one of you. Like Duce emphasized the importance, right? It's not about us. It's not a me thing. It's a we thing. So we want to thank each and every one of you, Surge, X Music, everybody, and we say hi to you because we definitely are grateful and acknowledge that you guys are hanging in there with us, and spread the love, spread the music, spread the word, and this is what we do. All right, so welcome everybody. Duce, awesome. It's good to see you, man.
I got my boy Mike Mincy.
There you go.
He's on the check-in.
Yeah,
man.
awesome.
Newark is heavy today.
I've got a
brother buy it or DJ D's. Wait a minute.
Hey,
wait a minute. I don't know.
Watch out.
Leave it there.
It says DJ D's, but you know what y'all gonna say? I already know.
No.
Yo, big. You know what? Big shout out to David Story.
Yeah.
Right? DJS. Big. You know what?
He's now producing too, brother.
Yeah,
he's doing his thing. He's dope stuff.
Big shout outs to him because he was doing an event in Brooklyn, which he actually booked me, for, and he's been working hard and putting a lot of people on as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So he's going to be one of the DJs I'm going to put on at the library.
Nice.
Because he's so talented as well, man. This guy really can play his ass off.
Awesome.
And I want people to hear him play.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't embrace those who are good,
right?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know I can play my ass off. I'm sorry. And listen, I know I'm cursing, but I mean,
beep. That's a $50 fine.
He said, yeah.
Listen,
he was about $3,000.
I know I can play my behind off. I know you can. We got great DJs in Newark. We all know who they are, right? But at the same time, you got some upcoming DJ. Look, Martin G is another dope DJ that I'm trying to put on. You know what I mean? Because the guy is just amazing. Honestly, he's amazing. Look, again, I'm going back to the DJs that I put heavy. Millie Mills,
yeah.
You got.
I've seen her on the shows. Yeah.
Let's talk about Amir before you go there. Amir, DJ Amir.
Okay.
I put him on first.
Mm-hmm.
He listen. I was with him with David Morales. He said he's the first one who put me on
on
my radio show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Him and his sister. You know what I mean? Like you got to embrace these DJs who are really hungry. Because if we don't, we're gonna lose this.
Right. Well,
we're gonna lose what we have.
Right. We're gonna lose the trade, the talent. The format. You got to recognize it and expose it.
Right.
Because if not, listen, there's a lot going on in the world, so it'll just get buried, man.
That's
You know,
right.
and
For those who don't know, Amir is going to be also here on the station. He's going to be having his own show here on the station.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's, you mentioned that last week. That's awesome. Just
great kid.
Want to say hi. We got Triple A's here. Want to say Ace House Nation is in the room saying hi to Ace. We've got Anthony. There was an Arnold, you know, so I just want to, again, saying hi and recognizing everybody. And you guys are awesome, man. So look, Queen Joy, so many people.
Big shout out to Ace House Nation, another guy.
Yeah.
Yo, true story. Let's talk about Ace. Ace, I'm gonna put you on blast, homie. and another guy by the name of Johnny Toto.
Oh,
all right. So
snap.
That was his name. That's his name.
That's what makes it funny.
Okay. So true story. I used to do a huge event. Actually, it was before I started DY Music Radio. It was called Axiom Online.tv. And we had my old recording studio. It was called Axiom, or it was called Ironbound, and we turned it into a nightclub / recording studio. So I used to do my radio show there, and we talking about 2000, 2001, 2002, I think it is. I can't remember, but anyway, it was a long time ago. And Curly had her show on the station as well, and it was all about women, right? So she decided to say, hey, why don't we do a show called, my last show, called it the Beastie Girls, right? And she asked me, hey, would you mind dressing up as a female?
I knew it.
So I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I don't care. Then she asked Ace House Nation. Ace, I ain't gonna front. Ace is a pretty chick. Ace is lindo. And then Johnny Toto, right? So we all DJing and just listen. I make the ugliest female, bro.
Let me find out.
What?
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube, everyone. You can YouTube it. It's called the Beastie Girls.
I'm gonna get it.
You can see it.
You gotta put it up.
I'm gonna get it.
You gotta put it while he's mixing.
Oh my God, the most funniest thing, man. I'll tell you.
Terrible.
And big shout out to him, man. Again, big shout out to Ray Vasquez too. I got to tell you about Ray Vasquez.
Yeah, Ray's been busy. He's got the cruise coming up. He's been doing those too. And he was down in Miami. And you were talking about dressing up for the part, and which is all well and good. It's all in good fun.
That's something you always wanted.
No. See, you're gonna.
Lefty.
He went
Wait a minute, Lefty.
He went there. All right. So wait, listen. I was just gonna say that that's okay and all fun. It's all fun and games. But it gets a little scary when you see them continue to dress that way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's funny because we were thinking about doing it.
There's no special event. There's no party. Why are you dressed? Why are you in a dress?
Because I like it. But, we were thinking of doing one more.
That's all right. Jason, no te apures, yo te cojo.
So, Jason, Jason, we're going to put you in a tutu. Right?
Hey, no, I'll go as Titi Lela,
You know what I mean?
Titi Lela.
It's too funny, man. It was good, man. So big shout out to Ace House Nation. And big shout out to Ray, man. It's just so much to talk about. I know I'm jumping everywhere right now. It's just like things are just popping in. And,
it's okay.
My apologies if I'm everywhere at this point. But, I'm taking the opportunity to thank a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because, if it weren't for them, again, I've been in this industry since I was 14 years old. I'm 58 right now. And from the breakdancing and the engineering part of it to the producing part of it to the promoting part of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's long. It's just long that I came across so many great people, and they helped me here.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Gonzalez is one of them. He did all my flyers. He was doing all my flyers. And great producer as well. Big shout outs to him. Shut up. Yeah.
Oh, he's already looking at
man. Shut up. Okay. So I'm ugly, bro.
Put that up on the screen.
Yeah. So, Jose Gonzalez was supposed to play at Coney Island on a Father's Day weekend, and he couldn't make it, so he had told Ray Vasquez, "Hey, get Duce Martinez." Ray didn't know who I was.
Right. I heard the story.
Jose Gonzalez is like, trust me, you play a lot of his records. Because I produced so many records. I used to also be part of Soul Creations with Jose Burgos. That was my first group. You know what I mean? We did Don Tallman. We did Joey Caldwell. I mean, so many. So I ended up playing for Ray Vasquez at Coney Island when Coney Island was really Coney Island.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, everyone who heard me and saw me play, boosted. Just gave me that boost, man. You know, big shout outs to Ray for allowing me to play in his platform and giving me the opportunity to showcase myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, between Jose Gonzalez, Lou Gorbea, and Ray Vasquez, you know, there was a time, you know, in those years that, dude, I was everywhere. I was everywhere because I was new. I was different. The energy was different, and they just helped me, guide me.
That's it. They elevate. You know, listen. You know, talent is best. You know, when it's shared, right? You know, when it's you know, you see something, right? It's like, you know, you go to a museum, you see this, you know, amazing painting or something or sculpture or whatever. You know, it's not just go see it and walk. It's like, yo, you got to go check this out. Right. You know, you tell people, you spread the word, man. So that's how this works. And man, you know, back to Ray Vasquez, yes, you know, we gotta thank him. And this people might have their views, but the fact is, though, Ray Vasquez, for me, the original DJ that created and landed the Coney Island event.
Him and Preston, may he rest in peace.
The Coney Island, you know, boardwalk DJ events, and then you saw how it blew up, how it spiraled, you know, into many directions, how it got out of control.
Yes,
and different directions.
Okay. Him and DJ Preston, man, you know.
So so thanks, you know, kudos to Ray Vasquez.
Yeah,
yes,
man. So those two, and again, you know, may rest in peace, Preston, because they were doing it, man. They were doing it big at Coney Island, man. You know, the Coney Island was the library to me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was that big.
They're not easy things to do and to maintain. That's the other thing too. Because guess what? A lot of people will come on and bring their gear up on the boardwalk and do a thing. And all right, so you did that, but can you keep doing it?
Can you keep
doing
it?
Can you keep, and you know, and again, we were talking about the work that it takes to put it together. You know, last summer with Jason and going, you know, the truck, the equipment, the stuff, bringing it out, you know, the fly, you know, all that. That's a lot of work, man.
And it's all
the rain.
But you know, the crazy
weather.
The crazy thing, this is all free. We do a lot of stuff for free. The passion, and you know, carrying equipment, bro. Listen, Martin G. Felix Dupree. Oh, big shout out to Kenny Hubbard, man. He's one of my best friends, man. I love him to pieces. You know, he's my ride or die too.
I thought he would be here with me today.
You know what? I came out of work, man. Yes, people, I do work. I do have a daytime job, and you know, people don't understand that we do this, and it takes a lot of work
and energy.
We gotta get there 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours before to set up and make sure.
You put the link.
And make sure that the sound system is correct.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you having a good time for 4 hours, but we had like 8, 9, 10 hours.
Well, and all the weeks before and planning and putting it all together and all the you know and here's and all this, and please, listeners, you know, like, people are quick, but it's common. People are quick, like, yeah, it was all right, or something of that nature, or like, you know, like, you know, they're quick to shoot it down for some reason or another, you know, but not recognizing that
haters.
But also, but I'm also saying the fact that it can, for us, the love and, like you said, the passion, but it gets a little discouraging, you know, or can, you know, affect us if we don't believe in it, you know, wholeheartedly. You know, some of us might say, you know what, I'm done.
All right.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to hear my brother.
Get down.
I want you to take us on a musical journey.
All right.
You got it. So big shout out to everybody once again. I'm gonna rock out for a little bit.
He's the guest. What do you want to do?
Before you go on, can you give us a drop for the mix live with Jason Rios and Lefty Hernandez?
Yeah, you got it. What's going on, everybody? This is Duce Martinez, and you are live with my brothers, Jason Rios and Lefty Hernandez, right here on Whcr 90.3 FM, where you get all the great vibes.
Yeah, the voice.
That's what I'm talking about. The voice.
Wait, take again. Let me do it one more time. Okay, my friend, you are here with my friend Jason and Lefty in WHCR 90.3 FM, where you hear all the great music, my friend.
All the great music.
What? Yeah, you recorded that? Well, next week.
I got it.
Right.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody who's on the chat as well, man. I can see a lot of people on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
A good one.
You know, it's not, you know. Listen, man, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, sharing the vibes,
for the love.
You know, and the love, and you two guys for embracing me here. And, you know, I don't do a lot of interviews these days. You know what I mean? Because
we're gonna go to Jersey.
Yeah,
by the ear.
I'm not that I'm bigger than anybody. It's just I'm being like you said before, selective these days. Yeah. You know, I gotta watch my circle.
Yeah, exactly.
And watch the
my
spirits.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know, I've been doing it for too long, so long that now I'm in a different part of my life, man. You know, big shout out to my wife too, man.
Big shout out.
I gotta give my wife to my wife.
Oh my God,
I'm so glad. Liza, and
I'm so glad you did that, because tomorrow we'd be calling you and it's like, have you heard from Duce? No one's heard from Duce.
One of my biggest supporters.
we got to call up. We got to call. This is great.
All right, this is the Mix Lab. Who's speaking?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
¿Quién habla?
Nancy.
I heard it. I knew.
Is this where I'm supposed to hear Duce Martinez play?
Yeah, well, he's going right now.
I'm gonna go play it right now.
He's gonna go right now.
I'm gonna play salsa.
I can't wait.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen, wait. Duce, she's being polite. Go ahead, Nancy. What's that? What do you say?
I said thank you, Duce. It was a great interview.
Oh,
that's awesome.
You. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it.
By the way, Duce, before she goes, that's Nancy's polite way of telling Lefty to shut up. That's my better half. That's my better half. Yeah. She said, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna rock out for a little bit. Once again, thank you again, Nancy. You know, you're the better half. And once again, I gotta give my wife a shout out again. Big shout out to Gladys.
Big shout out to Gladys.
You know,
awesome.
she's my backbone, bro.
Thank you, honey.
I tell you, man. You know, she deals with a lot, man. With me, I'm an easy person, but not an easy person.
Listen, you know, we say, you know, behind every good man is a great woman, and we each got, you know, a great woman behind. So thank each. Yeah. Rhythm, Gladys. Thank you, Gladys. Yep. Thank you.
Gladys.
Thank you for letting him come out and play.
Yeah. She like, where you going? I'm like, I forgot to tell you. You always forget.
Don't forget.
I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Don't mimic her.
Yeah, I want to be able to call you tomorrow and say, yeah. All right,
you know. Okay, I gotta go. Nella was just say, "Shut up, Duce, and play some music."
Let's go.
All right,
go play some tracks.
Okay, goodbye.
Go play some tracks, bro. We'll keep them busy. You know, and
once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to WHCR 90.3 FM. We are the Mix Live, Jason Rios, Lefty Hernandez, and right now we want to introduce to you our brother,
you know
Duce
what,
Martinez.
While you know what, we're gonna set him up. We're gonna get Duce ready on the ones and twos. Hey, Jason, can you just play a track there while we get him set up? Okay, and we'll keep people locked in and tuned in. All right, there you go. So hang on. Duce will be back on the ones and twos right here on the Mix Lab.
Jason Rios and Lefty Hernandez. Right here on WHCR 90.3 FM. Join us every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. as we showcase DJs, producers, and artists from all over the world. Get the inside track on what they have in store for us, where they'll be playing at next, and when they're dropping that latest upcoming release. Get all of that right here on the Mix Lab with Jason Rios and Lefty Hernandez on WHCR 90.3 FM, the one, the only, the voice of Harlem.
Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
We're here live. Welcome once again, everybody. We are definitely here at the Mix Lab every Tuesday from 6 to 8. Jason Rios, I'm Lefty Hernandez, WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem, the voice of New York. And today we've got Duce Martinez, getting him all set. He's going to play some tracks for us. and very exciting. You know, we do this every week, and always excited to have guests come in, and we've been actually increasing the number of people that are coming through these doors, and everyone sharing the love they have for music and the part that they play in this business. You know, they Duce is very active, a very active DJ. Especially, I love the fact that you know, we're here in the city in Harlem right now, and we hear a lot of our local buddies and DJs. You know, Brooklyn, Bronx, but Duce is in Jersey, and I love that fact that he's bringing the love and the passion of music out to, you know, the state of Jersey. And even though it's just like right over for us, it's right over the Hudson, but it's so vital. Jersey brings a lot of history, a lot of music, and all the clubs. And Duce, if you don't get on soon enough, okay, yeah, someone's gonna, you know, yeah. There you go.
Here we go.
There you go. Now we're talking. All right, we're at the Mix Lab. Duce Martinez.
Whcr 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
How you doing? I hope you're fine. Did your day take you through changes and mess up your mind? I just called to say that I'm on my way. That I'm on my way. That I'm on my way. Candlelight, cold wine, soft music on the radio. And you got everything you need from the store. 'Cause I'll be in for the evening and I don't wanna come out no more. I'll see you when I get there, baby. I'll see you when I get there. I'll see you when I get there, Pardon me, do you have change for a quarter? I gotta make a phone call. Thank you. Oh, I hope this woman don't take me.
I'll see you when I get there.
And you be ready for good loving. You be ready for good loving. 'Cause I worked hard all day. Now I'm coming home to be with the one I love. Candlelight, cold wine, soft music on the
When they're dropping that latest upcoming release.
I got it. Once again, the mix lab.
It's about that time, man. We don't want to go home. Duce, man. What are you doing to us, brother?
We need you back over here, brother.
I'm definitely come back. Definitely come back. I gotta play again.
I gotta tell you, we gotta have like a 24-hour marathon because we tell all our guests to come back, man.
Yeah,
so we gotta have that special show.
I'm definitely down. You know what? I think we should have Martin and Millie here at the same time.
Yeah,
all three of us.
yeah, that's
That'd
it.
be
But
awesome,
I know it's a 2-hour show, but I know it's time to go. It's 8 o'clock. But you know,
we got 60 seconds.
we got 6 seconds. We got to do it.
It's about that time. So, Duce, thank you so much, bro. You were
Lefty.
awesome, bro.
Lefty, thank you.
God bless, bro.
Jason,
You're the
my
man.
pleasure, my brother. Thank
That's
you
so
so much.
awesome.
And thanks to everybody out there who's listening as well.
Yeah.
I see that Elliot, You got jokes.
Yeah.
I love you, brother.
Duce
and
Martinez.
rapid recovery, brother.
Awesome. Thank you, Duce Martinez, in the house with us right here at the Mix Lab, the place to be. Jason Rios, your host. I'm Lefty Hernandez, WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Every Tuesday from 6 to 8, Duce Martinez.
Thank you.
Rocking it out live, the place to be. Thank you so much, Duce.
You got it,
You're
man.
awesome,
Thank
bro.
you, Lefty.
See you on the radio.
Peace.
Once again, back is the incredible
WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.